Hi, my name is Sten Martin, and this is the third episode in the Depression Crisp series, where we try to make clothes in a simple manner, or a quick manner at least. Earlier on, in episode 1, we did the front part, draped the front part of a lady's basic pattern, and in episode 2, we did the back part. So today I thought we would be ready for making a simple jacket. Can be a little bit difficult, but we try to do it as easy as possible. That's the point here. And it will take about 10 to 15 minutes, I hope. So just hang on. To start with, you just have to have a dress stand. Of course, if you don't have it, it will be a little bit difficult to drape. Then you have to do pattern making instead. So you have a dress stand in a size approximately in your size. If you're a man, you're supposed to have men's dress stand, and of course you can drape that too, but we're doing that later. So here is the woman's shape. For the jacket, I think we should have a little shoulder pad in it. So we put the shoulder pad on to start out with. And how high this is supposed to be, of course, it differs to what you like and what your shoulders are like in what shape you have. And then you have a piece of fabric like this, something plain and simple, and this is about 70 times 80 centimeters. It's about 30 inches each way, about approximately. So we start out like we did before to make a crease in the front, and there's about 4 to 6 centimeters. That's about 2 inches, something like that. And we do that so the front won't stretch, so we have a stable front. And it's important to do that too, because you're going to make the label out the extra fabric you have in here. So we place it in the front, and this time we want to place it in the center front. We move it a little bit further because we want to have buttons here, so we have to have a little bit extra. And you have to place it a little bit high. So I usually take the neck, at the top of the neck as a measurement. So I take it up here, so you're certain you have fabric enough to make the shoulder afterwards. And then we pin it in the bust level and a little bit further down. You have to excuse me if it's not quite straight, because it's a little bit difficult when you do it in front of a laptop camera as I have here. So we put this line a little bit beside the center front, and then we take the rest of the fabric and then we turn it around, so we go all the way to the center back, because I like to do the whole pattern in one take, you can say like that. And here it's important that you have extra room out here. So we have the shoulder point here, and you move it a little bit out to have room for the broader shoulder, if you would like that. And it's important that you have width enough for your hip too. So actually, for most people, probably, the hip is the size that decides how wide out it's going to be here. Or if you have exaggerated shoulders and very slim figured, of course it's a shoulder. So you just have to figure out what's the prominent part of your body or your dress stance shape. And then you just turn it out here, and it's important that you have a straight line at the end, at the hemline. If you have plates or something like that, you want them to be straight down here. So enough room out here. Have a pin in the center back. Check that you have a straight line around here. Of course, it's a little bit tilted down here. You can see now when it's a little bit wider, but you can also see it's a little bit too far down in the back compared to the front, so I just move it a little bit higher up, and then it will be a little bit more correct. And if I turn this one up, it looks more straight. So we turn it to the back, and I want to have it at center back here, of course, since it's the back. So I pin it in place, up in the neck, 2 pins, and at the hem, 2 pins, and I straight it out here in the back. And as you remember before, you want to have a little bit extra fabric here, so you have to move in a little bit ease, so you have more for the moment, the movement, not the moment, in the back, and then you pin it in place here too. And then actually you could start with the back. It would be quite easy to do that, but probably you would like to wait a little bit. Now I can see it's not quite straight here, so I just have to fix this again to move it a little bit further down like that. But it will be, the draping is like that. You have to reshape it and model it all the way along, because when you shape something, it determines something else. So you just check it up all the way as you work along. I go back to the front again, and here we have the center front. I put an extra pin in the waistline, and then maybe you would like to mark where your center front is all the way up to approximately the bust point, and you probably will mark the waist too, and how long you would like the jacket to be. And then we arrive up here at the shoulder neck intersection up here, and here you can actually shape it in different ways. If you would like it to have a princess line that continues from the bust point up to the shoulder, you just drape it ever so slightly up here. You can see it comes also natural, and then you get a shape up here. And you can transform it wherever you would like it to be on the shoulder. If you would like more like a men's suit like, you just transport it over to the side, and then you can make a dot here. But of course this will stop you. So if we do a little cut here at the shoulder down to the armhole level, then you more freely could shape whatever you would like here. And if you see it from the side, you can see it ever so natural too, that it comes up here or up here if you would like it like that. I'm not very fond on princess lines. I think it looks very much like a basic pattern, and of course we're doing a basic pattern, but I like to do something else. So now I just will move it out here to the side for the moment. Just put a pin here, not tight, just ever so loose. And then we have to fix the neckline, and we did that before. We just cut in a square, and be sure to have enough fabric for the neckline, otherwise it would be too stretchy. So we just cut down here and in here, and then you could shape, shape the neckline up here, and then you usually want to make some cuts just to have it shaped ever so nicely around the neck. But then you probably ask, why do we shape the neck when it's supposed to be a jacket? Well, we do that because that is the natural shape of the lapel seam, if you can call it that. Actually, it's this how it started. You had the neckline, and then you moved it out, and then you would get this shape down here. It could be round, it could be square, whatever you like. Square is a little bit more masculine, and round is a little bit more feminine. So I think I'll just do a natural round shape up here and mark the shoulder neckline intersection. Then I have to cut all the way around so I can see on the other side how the shape will look like. And then I just put a pin up here in the intersection. And then you can start see the label moving out here, and you can draw the shape of the label up like this. And then we want to have, probably, it depends on what style you would like to have, some waistline in this shape down here, and some waist in the side too. And here you can do whatever you prefer. If you would like one big waist dart, I prefer two or a side panel to make a smoother shape. But that's up to you. You could also have it straight if you would like that. So I try to do two waistlines. Don't do it too tightly. So I just take a mark here in the waist, and I do another one. Out here. The one out here is probably a little bit smaller than the one in the front. We'll move this so you can see it more exactly. And then you have this big part in the side seam. You have a lot of room out here. But what you would like to do is probably to make a cross cut up here so you can get the armhole a little bit better. So I cut this way and that way. So you get the shoulders out like that, and then you can just shape a side panel, a side seam, or what you would like it to be. It comes ever so natural in your fingers, hopefully. You never know that, of course. And again, don't do it too tight. And it's important to have room under the arm for movement too. So you just shape it up here like this, and then you always feel that it's a little bit tight in the waistline, and that's because you have to cut your darts. So you just cut them in the waist, and then they can just open up, if you can see that here, just cut. And I do the same in the waistline over here. And now you start to get the shape of the front part. I just smooth it out on the shoulder and go back to my bust dart and shape it more in that natural way I would like it to be. So it looks something like that. Be sure not to point it too much out here. You always want to stop them 2 centimeters from the bust point, about half an inch or something like that. So you pin a little bit more to get the natural shape of it all. running a little bit out of time here. As I said, it would be about 15 minutes, but I try to do as best as I can. So it looks like that, and I pin out, and I think I would move this a little bit further out, like that. And always be sure not to do it too tight in here, because then you feel very uncomfortable when it's too tight up here. So room here, otherwise you're gonna get these Marilyn Monroe Madonna bust points, and really would like to do that here at least. Then I mark the shoulder. I like it to go a little bit backwards, but that's what your preference are. You could just crease it here first to see how wide you would like the shoulder to be. I would like it to be quite narrow, so I just mark it here according to my shoulder pad. Continue it down here, and the question is how high it should be. The armhole level, it depends what you like. It should be really narrow 50s, then you can move a lot. If it's deeper, it's more comfortable to come into the jacket, but of course you can move less. And then you can just cut with enough allowance just to see how it looks like a little bit more exact. And I like to shape it with turning in the fabric, so you can see a little bit more how it looks like. It's always a little bit bulky when you do that, but you get a really good view about how the shape is. Pin it into the shoulder pad and leave it like that till you get over to the back part. You can see it from the side that it has a nice shape here. Maybe I should turn it a little bit up so you can see the end head on here. So it looks quite nice. I will take a little bit bigger marker so maybe you can see the center front a bit more, like that. Then you turn, of course you do the back first, but I turn it up now just a little bit. You can turn up the hem. You can do it straight, or you could do it like a vest, for example, or whatever you like. I would like this to look a little bit like I imagine the 50s. So I just turn it up as straight as I can do it around here. And you can see I shape a little bit of a hip here, so you get really nice waistline over there. Then you can just round the front part here a little bit, whatever you like it to be. We quickly move over to the back, and it looks just like this now. So we have to do the neck first. We tried that before. Just cut a little square. Be sure to have enough fabric so you can shape it around the neck, pin, and make it meet the front part intersection up here. Remove the pins and pin the two together if you can, and make small cuts in the neck to make a good shape, and then mark it. Be sure so you have a nice round, can you see that? So you have a nice round shape around the neck. And then we continue out on the shoulder to the center of the shoulder. Be sure to fit with the front part. And then, as we said before, if I remove these pins here, you would like it to have to make it sit tight over here, to fit snugly. And then you have to transform the shape up, or the excess fabric up, to a little dot up here, which you can sew it, or just leave it as is to put it in. But it's important to get that dot, and it's not to shape the back as many things. Of course, you could say it does that. It's not so much as shaping this, because the fabric just continues up here. It's more like shaping in here. So it goes tight here and up here, and keep the thread down here. And then after you've done that, you just continue out on the shoulder. Like that. Be sure to make it fit with the front part. In the seam you decided it to be. And then you can just remove excess fabric. Up here and in the neck. And you got it like that, and then you continue the shape of the front into the back, and be absolutely sure to have enough fabric down and up here, so you can, when you move, you stretch this out. So I mark here down and continue. I have the side seam here. I have to continue across the side seam down to the armhole in the front. And make sure it's not too tight up here in the back. And then I can cut off the excess width up here and down here. And I can also cut away excess width in the side seam, because I wanted to cut it open in the side seam up here and down here. And then you can continue the hem. And as you can see, it often happens. It gets a little bit high in the front compared to the back, but you can, I haven't fully completed, but you can always adjust that in the back afterwards. So it will go something like that. And always be sure to have enough room over here. And then you can just shape it in here with the side seam. And then in the back, this dress stand doesn't have any behind at all, so it's always very flat here. But then you can remove excess width just in a straight line up, continue to a princess line, or in another line out to the side seam up here. I think I just would like to have a little bit tilted up to the side, to the armhole. Like that, and you cut in the waist. So it looks something like that. You have a dart out here. I wouldn't sew this one. I would just keep it as is. I have an armhole down here. I have a fine neckline. I have a center back. And if I want to make it bigger, I can always put in extra width here if I would like that, or I could just move it up or down to make it balanced. So that was the jacket so far. The time just went, so we don't do the color yet, but we can do that next time. So that was all for me. Hope you enjoyed it. If you have questions, you can just comment or write to me. So this was episode 3. Have a nice evening. Bye.